Hello everyone, let's start with another question, which is Skulpt companies. Let's read this question out. Skulpt company is a manufacturer of electronic goods. One electronic device is it produces and sells is the GSA. There are between 30 to 40 other suppliers of similar but not identical devices in Sculpt companies market. Each producer enjoys varying level of customers and brand loyalty. The current selling price of GSA is 250, and Sculpt company's director are considering a reduction in the price to 230. Market research commissioned by the company has suggested that price elasticity of demand for GSA is 1.25. Okay, the same market suggests that the price P schedule and marginal revenue schedule for GSA in its current markets are as follows. P, this is the demand equation, which is P is equal to 450 minus 0.2 Q, and MR is equal to 450 minus 0.4 Q. We have been given the variable production cost, variable selling and distribution cost, fixed production cost, and fixed selling and distribution cost. And after that, we have been given information about new customer order. A new customer order, LOK company has approached Sculpt company with a bespoke one-off order of 5,000 units of GSA. The unit will produce Sculpt company's factory along with all of its usual production and delivery to LOK company using Sculpt company's usual distribution channels. The order is considered bespoke as LOK company has requested some additional finishing in the production process, which will generate an extra production cost of 6 per unit. The unit must be delivered using a special packaging costing $2 per unit. The special packaging will be paid for and supplied by LOK company. The variable production cost of GSA includes the current purchase price of 7 per unit for an electronic chip. As the GSA is popular product, the chips are in constant use, and Sculpt company has sufficient inventory of these chips to satisfy LOK company's order. The chips in inventory were purchased several months ago at a discount rate of 5 each. A markup of 20% is usually added for all one-off orders. New market. The Sculpt company wants to sell to the country of Harakesh, which now allows the sale of the GSA following a change in its laws. Sculpt company's objective are to set a minimum acceptable price, which is most likely to discourage new entrants and shorten the initial period of the product life cycle in Harakesh to reach the growth and maturity stage quickly. Which of the following factors is least likely to be considered by Sculpt company when setting its prices in its home country? So which of the following factors is least likely to be considered by Sculpt company when setting its prices in its home country? So one is the customer demand. This will be considered most likely, not least likely. Manufacturing cost, it will be considered. Competitors price, of course it will be considered. And currency in the home country, this is irrelevant, so this shall not be considered. So the answer is D for this. After this, we have second question. I think the last option D has been cropped by mistake, but I'll read you the D option as well. So which of the following statement about the price elasticity of demand for GSA is true? Price elasticity of demand for GSA. Let's read out the options. It's its demand is price elastic and the revenue will increase if the price is decreased to 230. If demand is price elastic, that means the demand is dependent on the price of the product. So if the price of the product is decreased, the demand would definitely increase and it can lead to increase in revenue as well. So A can be considered, but let's read the further options. Its demand is price elastic and the revenue will decrease. So this cannot happen if the price if the demand is highly elastic, or the demand is price elastic, and the reduction in the price would definitely lead to increase in the demand, and the increase in demand would lead to increase in revenue and not the reduction in the revenue. So B is cannot be considered at all. Its demand is price inelastic. That means if the price is high or low, the demand is ineffective and the revenue will increase if the price is decreased. So the price is not depend over here. Now the demand is not dependent on the price at all. So increase or reduction in the price would not lead to any increase or decrease in the demand, and hence it cannot impact the revenue as well. So C also will not be considered. And the D option, which has been cropped out by me, I'll just read it out. Its demand is price elastic. Its demand is price inelastic and the revenue will decrease if the price is decreased to 230. So similarly, the explanation which I gave you for C will also go for D, and hence I feel that A is the correct answer. So if the demand is price elastic, the percentage of unit demanded changes at a greater rate than the price per unit. So if the price goes down, the number of units sold, the demand if the price goes down, the number of unit sold goes up by a greater amount, so the revenue will increase, and hence I chose A option. Now third option is, what is the profit maximizing price of GSA? Let's read this question first once again. For we have to calculate the maximizing what is the profit maximizing price. So for profit maximizing price, you will have to calculate the marginal revenue. For marginal revenue, you will have to see what is the quantity, and then you will have the marginal revenue as well. Once you have the marginal revenue, you can put the so put the quantity into the price equation, and then you can get the profit maximizing price. But for that we need to read out the information. So we have been given A and B as well. We have A and B, but over here we do not have quantity. For quantity we need to find the MR. Now MR is equal to marginal cost as well. We need to read out the question, what kind of information has been given. So let me read it once again. Skulpt company is a manufacturer of electronic goods. One electric device it produces and sells in GSA. There are between 30 to 50 other suppliers of similar but not identical devices in Skulpt company's market. Each producer enjoys varying levels of customers and loyalty brand. The current selling price of GSA is 250, and Skulpt company's director are considering a reduction in the price of 230. Market research commissioned by the company has suggested that the price elasticity of the demand for GSA is 1.25. Okay. Okay, now here we have been given some information wherein we have this variable production cost and variable selling cost. So the total marginal cost can be said is 30 plus 24, which is 54. Hence marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost, and therefore marginal revenue is equal to 54. So if I replace this 54 over here in this equation, it will give me my quantity. So if you solve this further, it will give you your quantity. So the quantity over here, let me calculate. I have written 54 is equal to 450 minus 0.4 Q, right? I had written over here. So let me just see. This will be 450 minus 54 is equal to 0.4 Q, and 0.4 Q is equal to 450 minus 54, which is 396, and Q is 396 divided by 0.4, and I get my quantity, which is 0.4, and the quantity is not 0.4, sorry, it's 990. Now I will replace this in my profit maximizing equation, which was P is equal to 450 minus 0.2 Q, and I will see 450 minus 0.2 into 990. So it's 450 minus 990 into 0.2, which is 198, and this is 450 minus 198. It will give me 252. So my answer is 252 over here. Question number 4 is saying, what is the minimum price per unit which could be set by Skulpt company in respect of LOK? Now let me read this in case of LOK. Now it is asking me minimum price. So when I talk about minimum price, it can be the relevant cost as well. So I need to refer to my relevant cost concept for this right now. A new customer LOK company has approached Skulpt company with a bespoke one-off order of 5,000 units of GSA. The unit will be produced in Skulpt company's factory along with all of its usual production and delivered to LOK company using Skulpt company's usual distribution channels. The order is considered bespoke as LOK company has requested some additional finishing in the production process, which will generate an extra production cost of 6 per unit. Okay, so let me just assess whether this is sunk cost or a future incremental cost. The order is considered bespoke as LOK has requested some additional finishing in the production, which will generate an extra production cost. So this is future incremental cost of $6, which I need to consider. The unit must also be delivered using special packaging costing 2. So I think this also shall be considered because 6 plus 2 shall be considered, but let me read it further. I think it might not be required because the special packaging will be paid and supplied by LOK. So this is not required. Why? Because it has been mentioned that the special packaging will be paid and supplied by LOK. Had it been a cost which GSA had to bear, then I could have included this $2, but over here in the question it is mentioned clearly that the special packaging will be paid for and supplied by LOK company. Now the variable production cost of GSA includes the current purchase price of 7. Okay, now the variable production cost, we need to consider the variable production cost as well, but let me see. The variable production cost over here is 30, which has been mentioned over here. Let me read it out once again. The variable production cost of GSA includes current purchase price of 7 units. Okay, so the variable production cost is 30, which I shall consider, and this 7 is already included in that. If GSA is a popular product, the chips are constant use and Skulpt company has sufficient inventory chips to satisfy the order. The chips in inventory were purchased. So this 5 were purchased several months ago at discounted price. This is what? This is sunk cost. So we are not supposed to consider this. We are not supposed to consider this $2. We are not even supposed to consider this $7 because this $7 is a variable cost but has been included in this $30. So we will consider this $30 as well as we will consider this variable selling and distribution cost of 24 as well. So 30 plus 24 plus 6 shall be my minimum cost. So the 30 plus 24 plus 6, this is my relevant cost, which is 30 plus 24 plus 6. This is $60. Okay. Now, which two of the following price strategies are most appropriate for Skulpt company in order to achieve its objective in relation to selling the GSA in Harikesh? Now, let me read this information about Harikesh. Skulpt company wants to sell to the country of Harikesh, which now allows the sale of GSA following a change in the laws. Sculpt company's objective are to set a minimum acceptable price which is most likely to discourage the new entrants. So the first information which I need to keep in mind is it has to discourage the new entrants into the market and shorter the initial period of product life cycle to reach the growth and maturity stage quickly. So it needs to reach out the growth and maturity stage quickly. So in case of transfer pricing, now transfer pricing is not related to this pricing strategy. So this is not, this is transfer pricing is acceptable in case of division or intra-division transactions. Market skimming. When I talk about market skimming, what do I mean? Market skimming is what kind of a strategy wherein I am charging high or low. I am charging high, initially I'm charging high prices on my goods, so in order to maximize my profit as quick as possible. But over here it has mentioned that set a minimum acceptable price, so it is not setting a maximum, instead it is setting a minimum acceptable price. So therefore market skimming will not be used. Market penetration. Now market penetration, yes, because it is saying that it will it will set a minimum accepted minimum price that is acceptable. So in case of markets penetration, we first set up a low price in order to discourage new entrants into the market, and hence I will select C. Now relevant cost plus pricing. Shall I consider relevant cost per price cost pricing for this? Because it has mentioned that you should charge minimum acceptable price which is most likely to discourage the new entrants. Okay, so in case of relevant cost, I do agree that we must set a minimum price, but setting up a minimum price through relevant cost pricing, we do not discourage the new entrants, it does not impact the new entrants. So I think relevant cost price is okay. We have further options as well, so let me read out further options and then I will decide whether I need to consider relevant cost pricing or not. So pricing discrimination. Pricing discrimination is cannot be done because it is somewhat like charging different prices for the same product in different markets. So I don't think so that this is applicable, because over here it is only launching this product in Harikesh and there is no other location. So this is definitely not the correct answer. Complementary product pricing, there is no information given about complementary product in this, so I feel that even F is also not suitable over here, because it is saying minimum, it has to charge minimum price and discourage new entrants. It could have been, but there is no enough information given for complementary product pricing. Now I have market penetration for sure, and for relevant cost I said that in case of relevant cost we are supposed to set up the minimum acceptable price, but it might discourage new entrants or it might not discourage new entrants. Since I had to choose two options, one is for sure, and the relevant cost pricing, it can be another option, because it falls into close it falls very close to the parameters which have been given, because relevant cost is setting up a minimum acceptable price, minimum cost. Okay, and that minimum cost can discourage new entrants to a certain extent. It cannot or it can, but unlike in market penetration, it will surely discourage. It is not that for sure kind of a thing in case of relevant cost, but yes, I think it will be a very close to the parameters which have been given over here, and we can select D as well. So C and D.